Today we're going to talk about the new agency model and why it blows everything away. You see, most agencies in the market today are still selling content or management retainers, and the truth is their clients are sitting there quietly wondering what they're actually getting. But there's a new model where agencies are selling a very specific outcome and they're using automations, they're using AI to build a business that actually scales. So let's talk about what agencies have traditionally done. The traditional marketing agency has sold, and when I say traditional, I'm talking the last sort of 15 years. I'm talking the SMMA agencies, I'm talking the SEO agencies, I'm talking the web design agencies. These guys have all sold retainers and all they've sold content. You know, in the SMMA days, people were selling, building content and posting it. That's kind of what they're selling. They were also selling maybe running ads. SEO agencies were saying, hey, we're going to do some SEO work and you might magically get a result. And that's the old model. The challenge with that is customers were always sitting there thinking, what am I actually getting? Is this actually driving a return for my business? And that's the thing. Businesses buy returns. Businesses buy outcomes. The challenge with this old agency model is there's a lot of work involved because there's a lot of doing involved. There's a lot of deliverables, and that made it really, really hard to actually scale. I know, I built one of these agencies. I got caught in that trap of building a more and more bloated team just to be able to deliver more deliverables. And the thing is, our churn was horrific because people didn't want deliverables. More and more clients, when early 2022 came around, started looking at their line items and going, what is driving a clear return on investment? And what is just a nice to have tick box that does something, but they may or may not contribute to their bottom line. And what we found is that every service that we had that was just a tick box service, that there wasn't a clear, tangible return on investment from, got trimmed by our clients immediately. And that's what made me really sit back and think, is this model still the right model to run? Now, 5 years later, I've spent a lot of time really refining, in my opinion, the best agency model out there. Now, this agency model is defined by productized services that deliver a very clear, tangible return on investment and that leverage automation to do it. We're not selling a pretty automation. That falls into the same thing as selling posting on social media. The automation has to drive return on investment. It's either got to save them time, it's got to make them more money, or it's got to enable their team to deliver better customer satisfaction than ever before. If it doesn't deliver one of those three things in a tangible, recorded way, then it's simply another line item. Now, what this has yielded for me is actually delivering fewer services with a much stronger differentiator. Today, we partner with our clients. We don't sell them services. We partner with them to really grow their business. Like this last week, I actually signed a $5,500 deal. This got probably going to grow into a $10,000 to $20,000 a month deal. And we are literally partnering with them to take on their entire lead generation for the business. Now, this is a startup, and I know how to do that in a very deliverable, in a very streamlined way. So they don't care exactly what I do. They care about a return. And I've got my compensation tied to the upside. For this client, we're going to be doing a lot of cold outreach. We're going to be building a lot of marketing assets. We're building sales assets and sales CRMs. We're going to be building the entire thing. And that's why they were happy to lock in a 12-month contract. And at this point, strong operations and the ability to execute quickly are the differentiator, because there's lots of people out there saying, I'll build your marketing for you, but they don't really ever describe what it is. Well, I said, hey, we're gonna get this many leads in month 1, this many leads in month 2, this many leads in month 3, and $5,500 was in my account as the deposit to get things started within 48 hours. So how does AI play into all this? Well, AI is your superpower, and you don't necessarily need to sell AI. I've covered this in so many videos. I did not sell this client on AI. They actually are using an AI software on the back end. That's the product they're selling. But I didn't come in and say, I'm going to build AI to build your business. I said, no. I said, I'm going to deliver this outcome for you. And AI is your superpower. It is your ability to scale with ease and speed. Now, AI should be used for data collection. It should be used for enrichment. It should be used for asset creation. And then you should have a human review all of the above. So let's say, as an example, you wanted to sell a cold email outreach. You'd use AI to help collect the initial leads, to enrich them, to write personalized elements. And then you'd use I'm not going to call it an AI, it's more of a SaaS tool like Instantly or Lemlist or Smart Lead or any of the other email tools out there to actually send the email. So technically, it's not an AI email. It's AI found the information, it crafted some of the email, because I still believe that core templates with a little differentiator are better, and that's what the data is showing me at this point in time. And then you use a service to deliver it. We're really not in the era of full AI, and to be honest, when full AGI hits, this business model is going to be fundamentally coming down to the 3 core skills that I talk about, which are relationship, understanding, and operational efficiency. If you can't master those 3 skills, your business is going to be out of business when AGI hits in about 10 years. Now, AI can also speed up things. Like as an example, I had to put together a flyer and a business card for this client. Now, because of the way that I've used AI to generate their entire website sales funnel marketing message, it was as simple as a quick prompt to generate these assets. It took me about 10 minutes. There was some refinements. It took about 25 minutes in total, but that was the delivered sales assets for a trade show that they're going to. Really simple stuff, but it all comes down to how you use AI in order to deliver an outcome rather than selling AI. So how do you sell this new model? If you're not saying, I'm going to give you this line item of deliverables, which was very easy to say, I'm going to, post 30 pieces of content a month. I'm going to update A/B split test ads. I'm going to deliverable. That was easy to sell because that's what you're giving them. How do you sell this new model? So you need to talk about revenue, about time saved, and about risk reduced. Now, when you're talking about this, you are selling the outcome of more revenue based on numbers. You can't just say, I'm going to make you $100,000 a month of new revenue without backing up by math. Good news is AI can do the math. If you're talking about time saved, if you're selling efficiencies in the back end, you can say, hey, we onboard your new sales reps in 20 minutes rather than 4 days. Again, that's time saved. That's what you're selling. You're not selling your N8N backend or the SaaS service that you're arbitraging. You're selling time saved. So talk to them about that and help them understand the value of that to their business. And if you're selling anything like risk reduced, as an example, this is like the Review Shields product that I sell. The Review Shield product actually it used to sell these years ago. AI's just made it better. We used to send a survey. You'd get people to rate the service on a scale of 1 to 5 on a landing page. If they went for a 5, you'd send them instantly to Google to give a review. Now we can actually do it via SMS, like someone from the business is actually reaching out to them. And anyone that scores 3 or below, we route straight to the service team. So the service team can resolve the problem. And 4 and 5 stars go straight to Google to give their review. You see, that's risk reduced. That's a reduced risk of reputation damage. So how do you deliver on this model? Well, you want to use predictable, reusable workflows. So you'll get your core products. For me, I've got my core products. I've got email, I've got database reactivation, I've got sales assets, I've got CRM, and I've got Review Shield. They're my core products. And I've got predictable workflows to deliver each of those services at scale, easily, predictably, and with results that generate case studies. So whether you decide to use custom N8N builds, whether you use make.com builds, whether you arbitrage a SaaS software entirely and don't even touch a no-code builder, just white label someone else's solution, it doesn't matter. You need to be producing reusable templates and reusable workflows so you can deliver quickly and predictably. You also need to have a really tightly refined offer. You see, for the client last week, as an example, I told them, we are going to deliver you 10 new paying clients inside the first 45 days. If we don't deliver you 20 paying clients in the first 90 days, you can break clause this 12-month contract. The predicted sales projections for the next 12 months, so they could actually see based on the math how this thing's going to work. Now, when you're delivering this task, you want to be running continuous optimization. You don't want to be doing random tasks. So as an example, if you're running let's say database reactivation style service, and I actually quoted this to a client about 6 months ago, and they just built something in-house and they were just curious how I was going to do it. And they go, wow, I wish I'd met you 4 weeks ago before we put our developers on this for an entire month. So the way I pitched this AI database reactivation, they had a database of 1.2 million leads. I pitched them that we would do 5,000 leads every single day. It would, at the other end, generate about 200 booked sales appointments, which is what the team could take as surplus capacity. And then we could obviously scale and adjust it depending on the lead volume coming in. Now, I said, over time, we're going to optimize this. It will go down for a day or two at a time as we upgrade you to the newest models. We just upgraded some of our clients to ChatGPT-4 and we're running this new model on the back end and blah, blah, blah. To them, it's like, wow, we're getting the latest and greatest AI tech, but I'm still selling them the service. They're still getting the outcome, which was the 200 leads a day. That was what I'm optimizing around. And then these optimizations are what I'm doing. You don't even need to tell your clients that all the time. Sometimes it just helps to drip feed that you're still doing something, even if they're getting the outcomes. So they don't think it's just a sit, set and forget and you're getting the cash. Otherwise, they'll actually try and reverse engineer it a lot of the time. So when is it time to shift to the new model? Well, if you are starting brand new, start with a new model immediately. Don't go to the old model of deliverables. It's not a place to start in this day and age. If you've got a traditional retainer agency, if you've got, let's say, an SEO agency, a social media marketing agency, whatever it is, start transitioning the conversation to say, hey, moving into 2026, we've realized that the most efficient thing for businesses is a tangible X. And then say, hey, with this, which it could be more leads, more time, less risk, we're going to optimize our entire strategy around that. And are you comfortable with that if we get you more leads in a more predictable way than we have been before, even if we post less content, as an example? If they say yes, then you can start drawing up new agreements and transition them through. Now, the other thing you can do for clients is you can say, hey, I'd like to give you a 4-week trial on this new model. I'll keep your existing stuff running, but this new model is going to run X, Y, and Z. We're going to track this. That helps them to ease into it, especially if you've got clients that have been with you for a very long time. Sometimes they're stuck in the ways. Most of the time when I've had these conversations, they actually like it, because they're like, wow, this guy's actually being productive, he's being proactive, and he cares about my business. So usually it's an easier conversation than you'd believe. So what are the first steps to growing your agency in this way? With what I'm calling the new AI model. It's really simple. Start getting leads, start having sales conversations, and start closing deals. Now, I've got plenty of videos on this channel, and we're releasing a stack more over the next few months to really help you to go from where you are now to having a fully functioning, very profitable AI agency. So if you want to come along for that journey, drop a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.